addressed a number of chiefs and people of
credible and breaking news, all at your fingertips.
Who's found Asamoah Gyan? Super finish!
Being on top of the news has never been easy. Visit us at www.3news.com for all your reliable news. 3 News, news at your fingertips. Everything you need to know.
Good afternoon and welcome to Midday Live on TV3. I am Wendy Lai. Coming up this afternoon. 40 former members of parliament sue Attorney General and Ministry of Finance over pensions owed them, demanding at least 233,495 cedis each. And government bans the purchase of new vehicles by ministries, departments and agencies. And more on Midday Live, the Ghana Water Company in the northern region says it may shut down its water treatment plants in Yendi municipality in April if the municipality does not experience rainfall in the coming days. So I've got details of these stories and many more lined up. Please do stay. So I start with one of our headline stories, and the Ghana Water Company in the northern region says it may shut down its water treatment plants in the Yendi municipality in April if the municipality does not experience rainfall in the coming days. The shutting down will be the third time residents will face water crisis in the region. Here's a report by Zubaida Ismail.
Installation of the Yendi water treatment plant on River Dakar, the main source of raw water supply, dates back in the 1950s, installed to provide treated water to the then Yendi district and its environs. It draws its raw water source from River Dakar, which flows through Yendi from Kwantinga in the Gushegu district of the northern region. The plant pumps 193 cubic meter per hour, a capacity that could serve the entire district some years back, but the growth in population has made it impossible to meet the demand. The water level experienced its first drastic drop from a total depth of 10 meters to 4 meters from the banks in 2015 as human activities around the banks surged, causing cut-off at certain points. Since 2015, the water level has shuffled between 4 and 2 meters, making it impossible for pumping into the Sams for treatment and supply. According to the Ghana Water Company, the banks of the Dakar River is supposed to be a protected zone with a vegetation to cover the river during the dry season, but that is not the case. Farming around the banks from upstream through to the downstream has resulted in heavy siltation, reducing the turbidity. A visit by the news team saw brisk farming activities ongoing around the catchment area.
We also have problems here. For the 20 years I have been farming vegetables, I have never had any issue with water. But for 3 years now, the water shortage has been too much. I know the water company wants to drive us away, but the truth is we are not the cause of the water shortage.
Idrisu took the news team around the dredging system, and the heap of sand was evident.
If this drop is going to continue 0.2 per day, and in fact when we go down to 2.6, that is the critical point from the bottom of the river, 2.6 upward, the feeding rate will not more be okay for the pump rate. And at that point, we can no longer pump again.
The OT has good water quality. It is there in abundance throughout the year. So if policymakers can look at the OT River for sustainable water supply to Yendi and its environment.
Now to another headline story, and the 40 former members of parliament have sued the Attorney General and the Ministry of Finance over pensions owed them, demanding at least 233,495 cedis each. And among the plaintiffs are senior ministers in President Akufo-Addo's administration. That's Yao Osafo-Maafo, and he is the acting New Patriotic Party chairman as well, Freddie Blay, and then Kwame Nabatels. Now, the initial lump sum was set to be 13,735 cedis per plaintiff, but interested accrued, that's the monies accrued so far on the initial amount from January 2009 to February 2016 raises the amount to 233,495 cedis. That will mean that government will have to give out almost 10 million Ghana cedis to settle the former MPs. And the plaintiff claim is anchored on one of the recommendations by the Chinwihese Committee report, which says that persons who exited Parliament having 7 full-term periods and are also above 50 years should be paid some sum of money as pension benefits. Now, among the other reliefs, the disgruntled former MPs are also praying the court refund their legal bills. And the former MPs have since 2011 been negotiating with government regarding their pensions, but the attempts to have their demands met proved futile. So there you have it. Former members of parliament, that's about 40 of them, have raised concerns regarding their pensions. And we have a number of them here. I will be joined in the studio by one of them, and he's actually the first person here, David Apasara. There are a number of them listed here. And we have Kwame Dusa, we have Godfred Ochri, Moses Dani, Ba, that's K. Bamford Edu, Victor Kulinoti, Yao Berman. These MPs served between, we have them, some of them served between January 2009 and then to February 2016. And like I mentioned, the amount which was initially to be paid them started from about 13,000 cedis, that's 735 cedis per plaintiff, and it's shot up to 233,495 Ghana cedis. A lot more names there. This list is from number 1 to 20. Let's see the rest of the names we have here. That's Kwame Nabatels. I mentioned his name early on. Freddie Blay, Samson Boafo, Christine Checha, Kendrasa, and then some other names you might know as well. So the question is that what exactly happened? Why the delay? And why are they raising concerns now? They have sued the Attorney General. Let's see and also speak to my guest in the studio, who is a former member of parliament for the Bolgatanga constituency, David Apasara. And he is as well one of the MPs who have been affected by what exactly is happening and what we're talking about. Good afternoon, sir. And thanks for your time. Now, one would ask that, why make this demand at such a time?
Well, the reportage is positioning it like we are doing it now. But we started it in 2011 with the then President Mills. And unfortunately for his untimely passing on, the matter would have been resolved, we hope. We continued after that, and we met with the Attorney General, we met with the President, and then the President Mahama, okayed it and then made his Chief of Staff to write to the Minister for Finance to pay us. And then the Minister for Finance was reluctant to pay. And so we continued the issue. We followed it up several times. We went and met him, and he himself had a view of what was contained in General Health Committee, but that notwithstanding, nothing was done.
But did he give reasons why he was reluctant to pay?
We were told here and there, you go there, it is that a committee is looking into it. So finally we went back to Attorney General, and so many times the Attorney General had to write on 3 separate occasions, telling the executive or the president that this is a constitutional matter and it's non-negotiable, and so we are entitled to the pension. But that notwithstanding, it was refused. We were not paid. And as it is, we exited in 2009, that's January. So we should have been drawing the pension from then.
Now, if I can hold you there, you've mentioned what has happened in the past, and now it's out in the limelight. A lot of people are getting to know about what exactly happened. But when was the last time you met some of these major persons you've touched on this very issue?
Yeah, we met President Mahama in 2014. And 2014, he instructed his chief of staff to write, and then to the minister, and it was done. But since then, we have been pursuing it and following it up, and then finally we realized that there was no way out. The best thing was to go to court. So we have been in court for more than a year now, but it never came to the public domain. And so it is not like now that we are going to court. We have been in court for more than a year now.
And is it that you don't trust the court system? Yes, you've worked for it. You are entitled to it. So why come out now when you know that the matter has been in court for over a year now?
No, we are not bringing it to the... Somebody has brought it to the media. We didn't bring it to the media. We are in court.
So you would have preferred that...
We are in court now. Today we're in court. And we're going back to court.
Now, there are also concerns that the group, the amount, it started from about 13,000, and looking at where the number of years is taking, now we're looking at about 233,000 and over. Is this really justifiable?
Yeah, but that's the reason why we should have been paid. We are taking, pension is paid monthly. So if we're supposed to be taken monthly from 2009, you can multiply that by the number of months that we have now. That's why the figure has come up. It's not our making. We have been pursuing it, and it's a legitimate.
So is that to say that you're currently not receiving your pension?
We are not receiving pension now. So that is the state of affairs now.
And going forward, the matter is in court. You would want to wait for the court to make its decision, and then you move on from there. Is that it?
Yes, certainly. Once we are in court, we are praying that the court will come out with a decision on it, and that will put the matter to rest. All right.
Well, thank you very much, sir. I have been speaking this afternoon to one of the 40 affected MPs who haven't paid or received their pensions for a number of years, and he's in the person of the former Member of Parliament for the Bogatanga constituency, that's David Pasara. Remember, you're still watching Midday Live. You can send your comments on our social media platforms. Facebook and Twitter is News on TV3. Let's look at other stories on this bulletin. And government has placed a ban on the purchase of new vehicles by ministers, departments and agencies, that's the MDAs. And a letter written by the Chief of Staff, Akosia Fema Osayopari, dated March 21, 2017, says the ban holds until further notice. Now, the MDAs have been directed to make use of the existing fleet of vehicles in their respective transport pools. The Chief of Staff, however, noted that in extraordinary circumstances, MMDAs that want to procure new vehicles shall seek for and obtain prior express written authorization. The directive comes on the back of the missing 208 state vehicles, which was blamed on officials of the former National Democratic Congress, that's the NDC government. And still on this very issue, what do you think? We hit the streets of Accra to get views on the ban of the purchase of new vehicles by the ministers, departments and agencies.
The President has placed a ban on the purchase of new vehicles by the various ministries, departments and agencies. According to officials, the resources that would have been used in purchasing new vehicles is being channeled into doing other things that will be beneficial to the country. But this comes on the back of the over 200 vehicles that were reported missing during the transition period. What do you think?
I think it's very good. It's very important because the country needs to develop. You know, we've been trying to develop for a long time, and I feel like if they focus on that instead of the vehicles, we'll definitely make it.
I think we should try to manage what we have. I believe Ghanaians have a problem with management. So if we try and manage what we have, it would help so that monies can be pushed into other things.
We are suffering, and he has come. He has promised changes. So if he has promised changes, free senior high school education or whatever, then there is a need for the government to economize and to use the existing vehicles and channel the resources, the financial resources, into other sectors.
It's good to get the old cars done, not get new ones imported, so that we keep the money for better things.
To me, it's a good decision because always these are national assets, and national assets you cannot get missing like that. Everything is accountability. So if the government take that decision, it's in the wise sense.
This is Midday Live. Let's look at other stories. And President Akufo-Addo has charged Ghanaians to desist from spending working hours at prayer meetings. Speaking at the first international conference on entrepreneurship, business and technology of the Methodist Church in Accra, the president called for proper balance between hard work and prayers.
The Business and Entrepreneurial Conference organized by the Methodist University College was to deliberate and find ways of using entrepreneurship and technology to improve businesses. The presiding bishop of the Methodist Church, Reverend Titus Awotwe Pratt, was hopeful the meeting would come up with modalities to promote skills development. President Akufo-Addo admonished Ghanaians to change from their poor attitudes towards work.
These days, we are in danger of getting things out of balance and allowing our lives to be taken over completely by a narrow interpretation of religion. Today, an increasing number of people seem to think that success in all fields of endeavor is dependent on miracles and not hard work. We come to work and spend the first hour and more, not on the job we are paid to do, but on prayers. We go to all-night prayers and come to work the next day, tired and unfit for purpose.
The president charged the faculty of tertiary institutions to align the content of their curricula to the modern business environment.
More and more these days across the globe, the value of a university is measured by how easily its graduates find jobs. This is a challenge that our own universities must face. This is probably where technology comes in. There is no merit that I can see in persisting with old methods of doing things when technology can ease the drudgery and tedium and allow time for innovation.
Well, let's move to education. And the Walewale DAB cluster of schools in the northern region have been closed down following a near clash between some residents and teachers. TV3's northern regional correspondent Zubaida Ismail visited the school and has filed this report.
Our cameras captured locked classrooms when the news team visited the school. The school compound has no sign or a single pupil. Some members of the Parent Teachers Association had arrived at the school for an emergency meeting called by the District Education Director, Hajia Masi Suleimana. Some residents purported to be from the Waliwali Palace stormed the school premises after teachers managed to resist attempts by a private developer to commence construction work on a portion of the school land. This forced the West Mamprusi District Education Director Hajia Masi Suleiman to order the closure of the school until further notice to protect pupils and teachers.
As I'm speaking today, they've almost taken most part of the school's land. In future, there will definitely be development. The school is not going to remain as a primary school or a JSS school. There are other facilities that they will be putting up to help the children learn, but they never listen to us. They even threatened that they're going to kill of the teachers.
The school management committee petitioned the district assembly and the Ghana Education Service, who are yet to respond. Meanwhile, the PTA lodged a formal complaint to the chief of Waliwali, Dundana Mahami Mutari, at his palace, who has issued a notice to cease work on the land until further notice. Hajia Masi also reviewed teachers and pupils may return to school soon after a stakeholders meeting.
So we're told that the Waliwali DAB cluster of schools in the northern region has been reopened. School has been reopened. School sessions have started. And remember that we'll bring you some more of this very story in our subsequent bulletins. But away from that, let's look at some more. And government says it will arrest and prosecute Okolimse operators and those who give out the lands. Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, John Peter Amiwu, says that the ad hoc approach over the years is not enough to save the country. The minister made a revelation, I should say, when a Chinese delegation called on him.
And that's the water.
Yes, I see. Getting yellow.
If there's pollution of water body through cyanide and mercury, and it has to take me the next 3 years to die, of course they are killing me. It's equal, I also getting them and bringing them down. So we need to take decisive action. What we are witnessing today is not an issue of regulations in a confined way. It's total lawlessness. And I'm very happy that, as we saw from the CEO of Minerals Commission, some people have even been arrested, including your own people. We will be needing a lot of support with you. The introduction of the MMIP, which is the Multilateral Mining Integration Project, it's not a project that is stopping the illicit or the lawlessness, but it's a project that will make the mining more sustainable in an environmental friendly manner if we are able to take away this difficulty. As a policy direction, the ministry is also coming up collaborations with the commission to make sure that we introduce a middle scale mining approach. That again, a lot of your people can come in and make sure that they do it properly. So, but this one, we have to address it. We need to do this one very quickly.
You're watching Media Live. We have more.
Watch New Day every weekday at 6 a.m. New Day is brought to you by Givers Capsules.
Now this is your Empress Nanama Ajiman McBrown, aka Mrs. Mensa. This is Talented Kids, and I'm here and I'm enjoying myself. Please do watch it every Sunday, okay? Brim!
badges, and most of all, win the heart of the nation. Remember, there's a 10,000 Ghana Cedi cash prize and a 6,000 Ghana Cedi educational fund up for grabs for our eager competitors. Make a date with us this and every Sunday at 4 p.m. on TV3 and watch as our contestants show how worthy they are of the top prize. Talented Kids, free to play.
Talented Kids is brought to you by Heaven Insecticide Spray and Mosquito Coil, and Napa Mackerel, Indomie, Cowbell, Our Milk, Mada Powdered Soap, Pepsodent, Blue Band Margarine, First Bank Financial Services, Royal Drinks, Jack and Jill Hussein, Diamond Baby Diapers, and Sandra Ice Cream.
Warm Up shows every Saturday at 10 a.m. Make a date on TV3.
Business News segment is brought to you by
Thanks for staying with us on Midday Live. Good afternoon. My name is Naniki Amensa Brampa, bringing you business this afternoon, starting with Chief Executive Officer of Universal Merchant Bank, Johnny Wah, is encouraging young entrepreneurs to fashion out more innovative ideas in product and services delivery by creating ready market. He was interacting with students from the University of Ghana Business School in the second edition of TV3's Time with the Captains.
If you have a program and you have sacrificed something into that program, your focus in ensuring the success of the venture, from experience we've seen, is more likely to succeed, or the potential for the success is higher than where you just package something. Somebody gives you 100% funding, and it can go bust, and tomorrow you go to the next idea because somebody gives you some package of funding. But if you are a startup, my personal preference is not to immediately look for a bank loan. As in Ghana, for instance, we just had the Honorable Minister of Finance read budgets about a month ago, where over 219 million Ghana cedis has been voted into the Venture Capital Fund. And you must have a document that people can buy into, people will be attractive enough to warrant the kind of attention that you believe your project deserves. It is much more and far better funding source for a startup than to inundate yourself with interest cost from day one. Already you are building up costs that are waiting for you to pay. Obviously you don't have any cash flow initially, so perhaps we'll give you some moratorium on interest payment, even interest and principal, for 6 months, for 1 year, for...
You should look out for the next edition in the last week of April this year. We move on to more, and the National Petroleum Authority has officially launched 2 handouts to guide the design, installation and operation of LPG storage facilities in the country. This follows the setting up of a bulk road vehicle tracking scheme introduced in 2013.
More than 3,500 registered bulk roads vehicles in the petroleum downstream industry transport 98% of the volume of petroleum product within the country. This mode of distributing fuel is beset with numerous challenges, including transit product shortages and false haulage claims. In 2014, the projected revenue loss was about 43 million cedis. Measures to curb the revenue shortfall led to the introduction of the bulk road vehicle tracking scheme.
Revenue loss as a result of false claims has reduced from 12.3% in 2014 to 2.3% of total freight paid as at December 2016. As a result, we have made savings in excess of 34 million Ghana cedis per year.
The Chief Director at the Energy Ministry, Professor Thomas Akabza, who represented the Sector Minister, noted government plans to expand and rehabilitate rail and pipelines connecting towns to transport petroleum products.
The government will therefore take up this challenge, especially the limited capacity of the Volta Lake Transport Company to transport petroleum products via the Volta Lake to the northern parts of the country would be expanded. The possibility of a rail line between Tema and Kumasi for transportation of petroleum products will seriously be perceived.
President of the Association of the Oil Marketing Companies, Paula Jimandia, cautioned stakeholders in the industry to provide maximum security in their operations.
The issues we have had with the LPG incident at Labari and the one we had at Ashama should be enough, meaning that we don't need to tolerate another more incident. And if we don't have to tolerate such incidents, it means we need to put safety as the fulcrum of the industry.
He's confident the introduction of the handbook would achieve high safety and operational standards in the oil industry.
Let's look at energy now, and business owners and residents in the Central Business District of Accra will soon experience an improvement in power supply after the completion of a $39 million power project. Now, the reinforcement power project sponsored by JICA, that is the Japanese International Cooperation Agency, is expected to be completed in 18 months, and it will relieve the Achimota and Malam bulk supply points of overloading.
The project will extend 161 kV network to the Central Business District with a load growth higher than the national average of 10%. The Electricity Company of Ghana and the Ghana Grid Company are expected to provide counterpart funding of $2 million towards the execution of the project. The Chief Executive of Gridco, Engineer William Amuna, noted the extension will help reduce high transmission losses in the sector.
The Central Business District happens to be one of the areas consuming a lot of power. Now the power supply here is not so reliable. We are putting up a gas-insulated substation here, very compact, so that we are able to provide power to the people. The total demand around this area is about 1,400 MVA.
The MD of the Electricity Company of Ghana, Engineer Samuel Boache Apia, assured of the company's resolve to secure adequate electricity supply.
This bulk supply point is to be constructed by a consortium made up of Mitsubishi Corporation, Hitachi Plant Construction Limited, and UTEC Corporation. It is expected to be completed, commissioned, and handed over on 31st of October 2018.
The Minister for Power, Boache Jakon, said government is restructuring the high debt in the utility sector and securing fuel supply guarantee to ensure reliable power supply for the country.
It is going to alleviate the hardships of probably the most significant section or segment of our national capital, i.e. the business district.
Now, the Institute of Human Resource Management Practitioners says the institute aims at celebrating excellence in human resource and recognizing institutions and individuals who are contributing to the development of the practice. Now, speaking at the Ghana HR Star Awards in Accra, the president of the association, John Wilson, said the awards are key to developing the management of human resource in Ghana.
The Made in Ghana HR Awards was to recognize and award individuals and institutions for HR best practice in both the public and private sectors of the economy. It was under the theme Human Capital and National Development. The awards are in 12 categories, including Best Organization and Employee Relations Practice, Best Organization in Learning and Development Practice, and Most Successful Change Management Program. The rest are Best Organization in Recruitment and Selection, Best Workplace Diversity Strategy, Best Talent Management Strategy, Best Organization in Performance Management, Most Promising Public Sector Organization in the Use of ICT, HR Practitioner of the Year, among others. The President of the Institute of Human Resource Management Practitioners Ghana, John Wilson, stressed the need for the awards.
If a profession that doesn't recognize achievements, is not worth, being part of. And we believe that, HR is there to motivate employees to do their best. And we thought that it would be appropriate to identify organizations and, to some extent, individuals in the organization who have excelled.
The chairman of the National Labour Commission, Edward Briku-Bwedu, who was also the guest speaker, urged HR practitioners to take training and retraining of their workers seriously.
It takes human capital to organize and rationalize the contributions of other factors of production before a result of a productive goal can be achieved in any industrial setting.
Unilever Ghana was adjudged the overall best organization in HR practice. Head of HR of Talo Ghana, Irene Asari, won the best HR practitioner of the year. Guinness Ghana Brewery Limited also received 3 awards. Other winners included Barclays Bank, HFC Bank, Graphic Communication Group, and Ghana Prisons Service. The event was attended by HR practitioners.
We have more business updates later on News 360. That will do for this afternoon. My name is Nanikia Mensah-Abrampa. We're going back to Wendy to give us more on Midday Live.
Thank you very much indeed, Nanikia Mensah-Abrampa. But let's look at one story that we've been focusing on for some months now, and that has to do with Galamsey, which has become a national concern. And the Manso Edubia constituency in the Ashanti region is one of the worst affected areas by the Galamsey activities, and my colleague Evelyn Tingma is with a member of parliament for that very constituency, Yao Frimpong Ado, and they will be joining us shortly. She will be speaking to him on the Galamsey activities happening, the concerns that have been raised, and measures that are being put in place to ensure that it doesn't deteriorate or get out of hand. So shortly, Evelyn Tingma will be joining us.
In the northern sector, eastern, Bunahafo, and other parts of the country. But one member of parliament who has been vocal about this menace is Honorable Yao Frimpong Ado, and he is the MP for Manso Edubia. Good afternoon, sir, and thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Right. Can you paint a picture how Galamsey is impacting on your constituency?
Thank you so much, and good afternoon to your viewers. The menace of Galamsey, how it's impacting, nobody can even talk of good impact as far as I'm concerned. But anybody who goes to my constituency, the moment you enter the constituency, the only thing you see is bastardization of the environment, destruction of the environment, total disregard for environmental sanity in the constituency. All river bodies, not a single one, both the streams and the medium and big rivers have all gone. There's no life in the aquaculture in our constituency, and because of that, if you ask me, I will say that the picture there is gloomy as far as the workings of the Galamsey are concerned and the environment is concerned. The picture is very, very gloomy.
Glooming in a negative sense?
Gloomy. Anything gloomy is negative and is not good for society. And we've talked about Galamsey. Everybody knows about Galamsey in this country. I was happy when you were mentioning that from north to south, everywhere in this country there's gold, apart from 2 regions. That's the Volta region and the Greater Accra region. The rest of this country is full of gold. And any means that people who live in those areas who want to extract that gold, they use it. So if the state doesn't regulate anybody, this is the way it's going to go. Since 1988, that they passed this law to legalize small-scale mining. So there's a difference between small-scale mining and galamsey. But because of the way it is being done, now you cannot even distinguish between who is a small-scale miner and a galamsey operator. The galamsey is purely illegal. Purely illegal. And any law enforcement agency can just pounce on anybody doing it, put the person in court, and the person will be sentenced. Pure and simple. But because everybody is involved in this country. Everybody, I mean, from politicians, from the security.
So I wanted to ask you who are involved.
Everybody. That's what I'm saying. Everybody, from politicians to security agencies to community opinion leaders to traditional authorities. Everybody. And because everybody is involved, it is so difficult to solve it. But I have come up with a solution. You see, I've decided not to talk about the menace of galamsey again because everybody knows it in this country. Everybody. If you go to my constituency, the little school child who has stopped school because of going to look for gold is a victim of galamsey, because his or her future is jeopardized forever. But he or she doesn't know, because now she goes in there and gets some 400 Ghana cedis on a daily basis and takes care of the father and the mother who are so poor, and he or she thinks is okay, therefore they will continue to do it. And if you are not careful, the future generation is lost as a result of galamsey. So everybody knows about it. What are we doing to stop it? And I have a simple solution. You see, it should not be a top-down approach. Use brute force to go and sack whether the foreigner, Chinese, Taiwanese, or whatever who is there. That doesn't solve the problem at all. It should be a bottom-up. By my solution, the bottom-up, I use the Latin American model when they were trying to stop cocaine. If you deal with the campaigns up there, you will fail. Go to the roots and find out some alternative economic means of survival. And people, they did it and they are succeeding. You see, these people live there and they survive on it. So you just cannot go and say, stop it, and they will stop. No, they will do it in the night. And you can't fight them in the bush in the night. No army can fight them in the night. So what you need to do is to adopt the Latin American strategy.
So we'll bring you some more on this very interview in our subsequent bulletins. And we have more on Midday Live. Do stay.
TV3, first in news, best in entertainment.
This is your Empress Nanama Ajiman McBrown, aka Mrs. Mensa. This is Talented Kids, and I'm here and I'm enjoying myself. Please do watch it every Sunday, okay? Brim!
And most of all, win the heart of the nation. Remember, there's a 10,000 Ghana Cedi cash prize and a 6,000 Ghana Cedi educational fund up for grabs for our eager competitors. Make a date with us this and every Sunday at 4 p.m. on TV3 and watch as our contestants show how worthy they are of the top prize. Talented Kids, free to play.
Talented Kids is brought to you by Heaven Insecticide Spray and Mosquito Coil, and Napa Mackerel, Indomie, Cowbell, Our Milk, Mada Powdered Soap, Pepsodent, Blue Band Margarine, First Bank Financial Services, Royal Drinks, Jack and Jill Hussein, Diamond Baby Diapers, and Sandra Ice Cream.
Everything you need to know. Captivating. Reliable.
President Mahama, who addressed a Deborah of chiefs and people of
credible and breaking news, all at your fingertips.
Who's found Asamoah Gyan? Super finish!
Being on top of the news has never been easy. Visit us at www.tv3-live.com 3news.com for all your reliable news. 3 News, news at your fingertips.
Hi, good afternoon. It's time to bring you all the latest in the world of sports with me, Thierry Nyan, here on Media Live. Now let's start off with the Ghana Football Association, where effective immediately, the GFA Executive Committee has approved the match review panel's recommendation to suspend referee Justice Edupoku for the rest of the 2016-2017 league in respect to the Ghana Premier League match between Wafa and Tema Youth. The match review panel reviewed the video of the match to examine the penalty kick awarded to Wafa in the 12 minutes of the second half by the referee. Meanwhile, Executive Committee has proved the match review panel's recommendation that referee Samuel Suka was right in the decision that he took to award the penalty to Hearts of Oak against Kotoko, as the ball indeed hit the arm of the Kotoko defender. No punishment for referee Samuel Suka on the other hand. And then the Ghana Under-17 team, the Black Starlets, have lined up friendly matches against Tanzania and Niger as part of preparations for the African Youth Championship to be held in Gabon in 2017. Coach Parkwesi Fabian and his side will travel to Tanzania to face their counterparts on Monday, April 3, 2017. The team will then return to Ghana and then play Niger on Sunday, April 16 at Accra Sports Stadium. The Black Starlets are placed in Group A of the African Youth Championship alongside host Gabon, Guinea and Cameroon. The tournament will be held from May 14 to 28 in the year 2017. Now, football in various cultures possesses their own terms coined by their respective locals to define features of the sport as they know it. Bedua Champong finds out the terms that can be likened to football.
There is never a good football game without a bit of song, chanting, and increasingly its own special slang and language. The language of the football fields and stands are also largely localized, drawing from local terms and sometimes footballing heroes to highlight them. In various neighborhoods in Ghana, there are a lot of them.
I'm here at Mamobi Kalkudi Park. It is in places like this that most football terminologies originate. So let's find out what their favorite football terminologies are and their descriptions. What's your favorite local football term?
Legova.
Can you demonstrate?
Dangbele. 360. Local language, we have Sulia, we have Tuta, we have Awi. Awi, as in the British language, is like playing roughly play. Sulia, in the other way, is playing a ball in between the legs of an opponent, as in a form of dribbling. Gota to gota, that's the same as Munchendi. In the terms where someone will come and call you to go and play this kind of local games, like no team, no official, no money, you're just playing for fun.
So just in case you find yourself at a football game in Ghana and hear terms like leg over and 360, do not be lost. Bedu Echampon for TV3 Sports.
Very interesting there. What are your favorite local, words for some of the terms in the world of football? But away from that, a friendly between Ivory Coast and Senegal was abandoned in the 88th minute on Monday after some section of the fans in the stadium invaded the pitch. The game at the Châtelet Stadium in Paris was level at 1-1 when a group of players or fans seen climbing over fences to enter the ground. Trouble began in the stands before spilling onto the pitch, where Senegal's Lamine Gassama was tackled to the ground. Referee Tony Chaperon told the players to return to their dressing rooms before finally officially calling off the game. Liverpool's Sadio Mane had opened the scoring for Senegal with a penalty midway through the second half, but Bihi Gohi Syriac equalized for Ivory Coast 3 minutes later. Similarly, in 2012, an African Nations Cup qualifier between the two sides was also abandoned after a riot in Dakar. Now to South America, where in some more international games, star-studded Argentina could miss out on the 2018 World Cup should they fail to beat Bolivia. Tonight, Colombia also face Ecuador in the other clash of the night. These are the preview to that particular game.
Face a difficult trip to Bolivia in the CONMEBOL qualification for the 2018 FIFA World Cup on Tuesday, desperately needing a victory to solidify their top 4 place in the standings. Argentina, two-time world champions, have struggled throughout round 1 of the South American qualification, and they have left the door open to a number of dangerous teams, with Ecuador and Chile banging on the door for automatic qualification. While Brazil have found their equilibrium under new coach Tite, the Argentinians have fallen into a poor run of form. They have won just 6 of their qualification games, drawing 4 and losing 3 on the way. Bolivia rested their senior players in their contest against Colombia, leaving them fresh and motivated to handle Argentina. If this tactic bears fruits, Argentina could be staring at a massive failure to make the World Cup. A World Cup without Messi seems unbelievable, but this version of Argentina doesn't match up to the vintage editions. Argentina coach Edgardo Bauza will leave Manchester City striker Sergio Kun Aguero on the bench and will go with Sao Paulo striker Lucas Prato to partner captain Lionel Messi in attack. Elsewhere, another feisty encounter is on the cards. Colombia have struggled to maintain their consistency that brought them into the dizzy heights of their last 8 in the World Cup in 2014. They face a crucial assignment on Tuesday as they travel to Ecuador to continue their World Cup qualification bid for Russia 2018. James Rodriguez and co. will look to find the best form in beating their South American rivals to the prize of qualifying for the World Cup.
All right, so that's exactly where we bring an end to today's sports bulletin with me, Thierry Nyan. Keep watching TV3 and enjoy the rest of your day.
Watch New Day every weekday at 6 a.m. New Day is brought to you by Givers Capsules.
Now this is your Empress Nanama Ajiman McBrown, aka Mrs. Mensa. This is Talented Kids, and I'm here and I'm enjoying myself. Please do watch it every Sunday, okay? Brim!
And most of all, win the heart of the nation. Remember, there's a 10,000 Ghana Cedi cash prize and a 6,000 Ghana Cedi educational fund up for grabs for our eager competitors. Make a date with us this and every Sunday at 4 p.m. on TV3 and watch as our contestants show how worthy they are of the top prize. Talented Kids, free to play.
Talented Kids is brought to you by Heaven Insecticide Spray and Mosquito Coil, and Napa Mackerel, Indomie, Cowbell, Our Milk, Mada Powdered Soap, Pepsodent, Blue Band Margarine, First Bank Financial Services, Royal Drinks, Jack and Jill Hussein, Diamond Baby Diapers, and Sandra Ice Cream.
A news anchor with style
and professionalism
must be someone you can trust, someone you can relate to,
someone you can bond with, and with real experience.
That is who we are.
That is who we are.
That's who we are. That's who we are.
Time now for entertainment. And theatre arts serve as a powerful medium to inform society, drive debates and push for attitudinal change. Mother Ghana, a drama by the National Drama Company of the National Theatre, preaches against social vices and urges patriotism. Also, Rai reports the play will perhaps be enough food for thought as you start your day.
This skit by the National Drama Company tells of how miserable Ghana looks at age 60. Martha Ghana, played by Agnes Panfred, appears sad and pathetic due to exploitation by her own citizens.
Mama Ghana, at 60, I should be dancing. Oh yes! Yes! Citizen, you are so irresponsible and wicked to me. Look, you are taking all my beauty away. Look at my leg. I'm sorry.
With all her river bodies polluted and corruption rife among public officials,
20,000, eh?
Yes, 20,000.
So, you know, I don't want you to waste time, you know. Mama, 5,000.
5,000?
Yeah.
How do we generate funds to build up this nation?
Mama, you have to eat. I have to also eat. You understand? Okay, 7,000 with transport. You understand everything, yeah?
You are right. Money. This is what we call checking, making, waiting. You will die, and Ghana will live. We are filling our pocket to say Ghana.
Such attitudes are responsible for Ghana's poor state. The skit, which urges attitudinal change, again depicts how its culture has fallen to its lowest ebb while resorting to alien culture. These youngsters were made to dress properly. And yes, for Mother Ghana to go, there is the need to treat and put her first at all times. A positive attitudinal change is what is required to transform Ghana.
I pledge not to accept bribes again.
I promise to pay my wax.
I promise to say Galamsey you.
I pledge to be punctual and hardworking for Mother Ghana.
As the world marked Theatre Day, the message from the theatre fraternity was quite simple. Don't be a spectator, be a citizen and help grow Ghana.
That you did have a good laugh, and I'm sure you've learned a lot as well. But let's look at some more entertainment stories here. And the 2017 Kwewu Paragliding Recreational Festival will take place between April 14 and 16 at Kwewu TV. Wusu Rai has been finding out safety measures put in place to safeguard the lives of the would-be revelers.
As a flagship event which draws revelers to the Kwewu district during Easter festivities. The event does not only add to the fun, the sale of artworks and other artifacts also boom, enhancing local tourism. 6 experienced pilots will fly in from Japan, USA and Amsterdam to make the 3-day festival eventful. Remains the topmost agenda of the tourism ministry to whip up enthusiasm, especially among Ghanaians. Issues concerning the safety of revelers have, however, come up strongly. CEO of the Ghana Tourism Authority, outlined measures to safeguard the lives of revelers.
Incidents do happen. I mean, we have the meteorological services that we work with. They always alert us. If the weather is not good, if you have been there before, whenever there is bad weather, there's no flight. We wait when the weather is good enough, then they can fly. The Ghana Army is also on standby. We have the fire service and the National Ambulance Service also on standby. So if anything should go wrong, you can be quickly evacuated. They have medical professionals in there who will advise. Sometimes some of the things that happen, people probably, when they fly, they are in shock. There are minor treatments that can be given on site.
He hinted of a public liability insurance package to cater for eventualities should any arise.
I encourage everybody to be part of it. This year we are putting in place a public liability insurance, and that will ensure that everybody who comes there has some amount of insurance in case anything goes wrong. But I can tell you, we are flying in expert tandem pilots from around the world.
So it's Kwewo for the paragliding lovers. Just to know that you are safe when it's time for paragliding. Now let's look at international news now. Outbreak of meningitis in several states of Nigeria has killed at least 140 people. It has been reported that over the last week in 6 states and has so far infected more than 1,000 people in the Abuja Center for Disease Control, has stated. Meningitis causes an acute inflammation of outlayers of the brain and spinal cord. The current outbreak is the worst in Nigeria since 2009, when it killed at least 156 people. And that's all for this afternoon. Thank you so much for watching Midday Live. I am Wendy Lai. Do have a blessed afternoon. Good afternoon.